Hey guys, hope you're all doing fantastic today. Uh, we got the advent calendar to jump into. It's now the 11th. We got a few days to jump in there. We got 9, 10, 11. And I kind of actually like it that way. Like doing a few days at a time rather than just doing one of each calendar at a time. It, I mean, I probably shouldn't get used to it. I should probably do it the normal way of showing you guys, like, oh, this one is for the 11th, and then this one's for the 12th, and this one's for the 13th, and do them individually. But there's a part of me that likes doing them in clumps like this, where I can kind of get a gauge for the calendar. Because somebody was talking about it online, where it seems like we're going with the Lego City one, we're getting more character builds than actual builds, like minifig build, or not minifig, but like micro builds or whatever you want to call it. And I kind of have to agree with that. So I kind of like getting a gauge for each advent calendar now, like the Star Wars one, and I'll show you perfectly what I mean with that. So for the city advent calendar, we got. Um, I actually really like this one. We got a fire truck RC unit. We got a baby with a bottle, and he's got a little sweater or one piece. I don't know. Is it a onesie? I don't know. It looks like one. But then we also got this hot chocolate eating guy with an awesome hat. I love those hats, as well as some snowshoes. I think there's something on the back of his. Oh, it's a tree. And I'm thinking he may be a firefighter. I mean, we got the fire truck, but he also, like, does that not look like a fire and those are axes? But then you have the tree on the back. I don't know. I could be trying to draw too many conclusions with that, but that's cool. I like it. For Harry Potter, we got a Hufflepuff statue, a Gryffindor table with looks like butterbeer, one of the little chocolate frog boxes over here. At least that's what it looks like to me. And then Wizard's chess. And I forgot what her name is. You guys are gonna have to look it up. I believe it was like Susie or something like that. She's not a very big, well-known character. At least from how I know the movies and books. I'm gonna have to go back and relook on this one, or I'll just put it up on the screen now so you guys could see it. But I actually really like this one, and I like that. I like that this one's based on the houses. I'm trying to remember what last year's was, but I don't think it was. And the one before that, actually, was it last year's that was based on the movies, or the one before that was based on the movies? That one I actually liked, but this one I like that we're getting stuff more based on the actual houses of Gryffindor, or not Gryffindor, of Hogwarts. Okay, Eric from the future here. I was completely thinking of somebody different. So, Susan Bones is actually a pretty prominent second string character in the movies. You actually see her a few times, and she's one of the first people that you see being sorted by the Sorting Hat. Not to mention, her aunt actually plays a part in the movie too. You might actually know her a little more when you see her at Harry's disciplinary trial, Amelia Bones. So there you go. And then we saved the best for last with Star Wars with Ahsoka Tano, the Ventor class Republic gunship, and class, is it a gunship? Ooh, I was just looking at the Republic gunship, so I may be getting some of that confused. But it is the Venator class. And then a little Millennium Falcon, which is adorable. I'm gonna have to put it with the big boy outside, or out in the living room. I love that. But getting her minifigure is really cool. Yeah, but see, it's kind of like what I mean, where we can talk about a few builds at one time and not just like, well, today we got this one, and then we got this one, and then we got this one, and then we're done until tomorrow. I can actually kind of wrap things up over a few days in one short little 1 to 2 minute segment, and it's totally fine. So, in the basement, looking at where I want to put the storage containers or storage shelves, and then put the containers when I have them up here. And I'm kind of getting a good view of what I need to do. And some of this stuff is just a little mind-blowing on the thought process. So normally when you do a wall, you're supposed to have a bottom plate, top plate, and the studs in between, right? I think last time I saw it, there was a stud over there on top. But that's basically what you have. You have the bottom plate, which is treated if it's on concrete. You have the studs in between them. And then you have the top plate, which runs along there. Well, I showed you before that he's got the top plate going across. Does not have the boards in between correct that I would like, because they're supposed to be like that, so you can actually put insulation in there. This is just a mosh podge of just randomness, but it's the bottom plate that made me laugh. First of all, it's short, so this has to come out. This might actually be easier than I thought. He cut that bottom plate around the stud. This one looks like it might actually be on top of the plate, but this one, he cut it and put it around it like a puzzle. And that's not gonna fly with me. So I'm thinking I may have to just basically redo this side right here, which won't be an issue. And the reason I say that is because obviously you have the 2x4 studs here, which there are plenty to work on that wall, right? But he also has the bottom plates, which over here, I believe this was the guy who actually lived here prior to me being here. I think he started on this project. The other stuff may have been here before him, but this was done by him, and I'm actually kind of happy that this stuff is here now, because he has two bottom plates, the short one over here and then the long one right here. And this one is definitely going to be long enough to go there. I don't think this one would be. This one might. We'll try it out if I can get them up properly. But they are treated, which is what I want. The main thing I'm looking for. So, yeah, that's going to be a project. I'm hoping if I can get this done. It's a little bit of a setback on getting the exercise room together, but it'll be a nice project for me to work on over the holidays. Since I got the 2 weeks off, 16 days in total. That's plenty of time to get that little section built. I can do it in a day, easily. Main issue is just getting this stuff up, or off and separated, taking the nails out, and then transferring it over to the other side. Other than that little project in the basement going on right now, not a whole lot going on in general this past week. It's been a lot of relaxing, working on small projects here and there. Like right now, I'm just going through my desk, organizing a little more. And I also am doing something on my gaming list on my Google spreadsheet, which I'll show you in just a little bit. But before we get to that, I want to take you through the advent calendars. I'm really pumped about what we got today. For Harry Potter, we're starting to represent Ravenclaw. We got Hedwig on day 12. Day 13 was Cho. And she also comes with that, by the way. But then we got the Ravenclaw statue on day 14. So right around the corner, tomorrow I'm guessing, we should have the table. No, we already got the table. That was the smarts. I don't know what's coming up then. I think somebody may have mentioned that in one of the forums about this stuff, is that they kind of wish it would have been like, in order, the character from the house, the table, and then the statue, or the statue and table could be vice versa. But having all three of them in order, and then obviously you do like Gryffindor, then you do Hufflepuff, then Slytherin, then Ravenclaw. It would have been nice to have all that kind of in an order. I'm not faulting this calendar by any means. This calendar has been awesome so far. I'm glad we got Hedwig, we got Cho. She's one of my favorites. And we're starting to represent our Ravenclaw now, so that's cool. For the Star Wars calendar, we got some decent micro builds. I mean, there's nothing special to them, but this one is Emperor Palpatine's shuttle, the Jedi T6 shuttle, and Pre Vizsla's Mandalorian fighter from the Clone Wars. These two I have larger versions of, and the middle stays while the wings on either side actually rotate around it. Here they're just static. There's nothing really moving on here. But overall, I don't think they're bad. They're meant to be micro builds. They're a little squarish, mainly this one. It's a little more squarish than I think I would prefer it to be, but it gets the point across. So that's what we got for Star Wars. On to City. And for the Lego City, we have the baby stroller on day 12 to kind of complement the baby with the Christmas sweater onesie and the baby bottle that we got yesterday for day 11. But then we also got, they have it listed as mom with Christmas sweater. Yeah, I'd say we're pretty much getting the entire family at this point. They really went heavy with the minifigs in this set, like getting them all up front with some builds, but not many. Which I'm totally fine with, because, I mean, a lot of these are very festive-looking minifigs that I would love to put in a Christmas diorama. And this one is no different. She's got the Christmas sweater on with helicopters, a star, and then we got a RC helicopter. And guessing from the colors, they said it looked like it was maybe a police, like, kind of RC helicopter, and that makes sense. The police do have, I think it's police, where they have like that neon yellow or the dark blue. So that's very fitting. And now I'll give you a quick little rundown on what I'm doing with my video game listing here. So basically the way I had it set up is the first page is supposed to be a basic layout of a summary page of all the content that I have in it, kind of rolled out so that I can view it at a glance type thing, right? But what I wanted to do, and I left all this space white on purpose so that I can move these things around while also adding things as I go. Maybe there's more information that I want to find out. I can just make another graph or a spreadsheet area here or under here, or move these around to show different data that I'm looking for. And what I'm starting to do, and I'm kind of using the PlayStation tab is a good example of this, is I'm going through, and this is what the tabs used to look like, where it had the name of it, then it had if it was finished or not, estimated time to beat it if it wasn't finished, and then it had the total amount of games finished, unfinished, how many hours that I'm categorizing it by. 1 to 15 hours is considered a shorter game. So, at least in my standards. Obviously, everybody else is going to have their different standards. This is just mine. 1 to 15 hours to complete, green 15 to 25, yellow, orange, and then 25 and up would be longer games to me. And there are quite a few of those. And then I had cleanup games that I wanted to go back and clean up after I beat them, because beating to me is not 100% completing, it's just completing the storyline or the campaign of the game. And then I can go back and I can finish those games sometime down the road. And then I had a YouTube list. If I really enjoyed the game, I could just throw it into this list, and that would pretty much make up some of the Let's Plays that we do on the channel. Well, I decided to get rid of the YouTube list and get rid of the cleanup list. Those aren't ones that I really need, per se. So I moved over the total finished and unfinished and the hours keys, and I moved them over here while adding two new columns, genre 1 and genre 2. I want to keep track of the genres of these games. And now at least games nowadays, newer games have a lot of genres that they can play from. Back in the day, it wasn't really that complicated. It was more simple, so it was easier. I'm really only sticking to 2 genres. The main genre, or 2 if there are more than 1. I want to keep it as simple as possible. I don't want to make things overly complicated. And I feel like that's going to do it. Just keeping it to 1 or 2 genres. Then, once I actually get all of this stuff entered, what I would like to do is on the summary page have a pie chart that shows all the different genres. And it's going to be grabbing information from each tab below here. So what I'm doing with the PlayStation tab right now, I then need to do that with the PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5, Xbox 360, Genesis, Dreamcast, PC, NES, Super NES, N64, GameCube, Wii U, Switch, Uh, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS, Super Famicom, and Commodore 64. We're not going to touch. I may add them, but I'd rather not put them in the information because we're not going to actually be playing those games, or I can't play those games. I don't have a Super Famicom system to play those games. And the Commodore 64, that's just way too big of a complicated system to bring out just for a couple old school games compared to everything else that I have. So I'm not going to be touching those two game systems at all. But that's what I'm currently working on right now, is experimenting with this one first, trying this out, and then once I actually get the chart, I will add that chart to the front page, and I'll be able to see I have 35% sports games or RPGs, and I have the next one is like, I don't know, sports games, and then open world or something like that. I want to be able to see that at a glance. So that's what I'm currently working on. All right, so it's a couple days past, or a few days past at this point since that last video clip, and not really a whole lot has been going on. Just started working on the basement. Had to get the Zaza out because the 2x4s that were up there were kind of being a little stubborn. So that stuff is starting to come out. I'm going to show you probably in the next video. I'm going to start working on the basement. I figure with the days off that I have coming up, it's just going to be fun just to get down there, spend some time down there, work on the basement. It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun. Just because I really want to get the basement going so I can move all this stuff down there. It's taking up a lot of space and I can't build anything in my closet. It's just sitting there right now. But I do want to say I am happy that we started doing the advent calendars like every other 3 days. I looked ahead a little bit just out of curiosity of what was coming up. Because I got looking into my dad's calendar that he has, and we usually pick him up the any Marvel one that's come out, and this year it's Spider-Man. And I think it was day 2 or 3 where he basically just got a bunch of accessories or web accessories for Spider-Man. It wasn't even a set to build, it wasn't a minifig, it was just random web pieces. And stuff like that can be a real downfall of an advent calendar, especially if they do it too often. And something actually happened like that in one of the calendars. So far, the Star Wars calendar has been very heavy on little sets to build of the old ones, which is awesome. Some minifigures, but more so on the sets. Harry Potter, kind of been a mixed bag. I think it's been mostly good, and the minifigs are always nice. So I think that one's been a solid 7 out of 10. The Star Wars one, to me, has been like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. So far. The mini kit, perfect. I love that mini kit. The city one, though, has been very heavy on the minifigs and not so much on the builds. In fact, do we actually have any builds for that one yet? I think we may have 1 or 2, but they're really small and there's not really much to them. But that's the one I kind of want to jump into. So let's take a look at what we have over the last 2 or 3 days. For Star Wars, they nailed this one out of the park. I love it. We got... starting on day 15, we got the 501st Stormtrooper, Clone Trooper. Then we have day 16 with the Ghost, and day 17 with Luke Skywalker. And this is cool, because I know this is based on an older set, but they did come out with a newer version of it that I have yet to build. And after getting this one, it's like I really want to put it together and have both of them together. But I'm really enjoying the little sweatshirts, little holiday sweatshirts on all of the minifigs. Well, some of the minifigs, obviously. So you're not going to put one on him. Although that would look pretty snazzy if you were to put it on the trooper. That'd be cool. Harry Potter has been awesome. We have the, day 15? We finished off our house stuff with Slytherin table. Then we have day 16 with the Ghost Caroler, which is a really cool, because they haven't come out with that one yet. It's a exclusive to this, and it's cool to see something going back to some of the first movies with, or the first movie with the caroling ghosts going through the halls. That's cool. We don't have anything with those on them yet, so that's really neat. And day 17, we actually have the Hogwarts Express tree skirt. So the tree that we got earlier in this set we can put with this one. So for Lego City, this was an interesting one, and this one set off a lot of people, and for good reason. For day 17, I'll do it in reverse here. For day 17, we got Mrs. Claus, and she's got a double-sided face, so you can do it with her eyes open or her eyes closed, and going through her naughty list right there. We also got day 16 with a snowmobile. I really like the snowmobile. It's a cute design. It gets the point across. Wasn't expecting the Technic pieces, but it does its job. Now, day 15, and I have to agree with people, this is kind of ridiculous. For a company that wants to get away from wasting plastic, like the bags for a lot of sets, they're trying to get away from that and go paper. On top of that, sometimes it seems like the advent calendars, even with these builds, that some of them are trying to skimp and save where they can. Like the Marvel one that I just named off for Spider-Man. I think it was day 2 or 3 where they had the web accessories for Spider-Man, right? Well, Lego City has done that now, and they're on a redemption arc because they're trying to redeem themselves with Mrs. Claus and the snowmobile after we open up day 15 to this. Like, really? A stuffed bunny accessory? All that in this little bag. Sorry, Mrs. Claus. Yeah. Like, I don't know what to say on that one. I'm kind of dumbfounded. They're on a redemption arc, though, because that was day 15, and this was 16 and 17. So, we'll see how the rest of the City one goes. But as of right now, Star Wars has been nailing it with its builds, with Harry Potter coming in at a very, very close second. And City picking up the rear. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up this video. It went a little longer than I wanted to, so my apologies on that. But I wanted to grab a decent chunk of the advent calendar ones to wrap up in this video. And in the next video, we're going to be wrapping up the remainder of them, which will be like, 4, 5, 6, 7, around 6 or 7 builds or something like that. And that one will be most likely releasing on Christmas Day. So I'm looking forward to putting that one out for you guys. I hope you guys have a safe holiday weekend. Actually, the next couple weeks, I hope you guys have good travel. And if you're not, if you're just staying at home, with, Christmas and New Year's basically falling flat in the middle of the week. So if whatever your plans are, I hope you stay safe with them. And I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care and peace out.